Okay, so you're the Garrus that's on my cover of my limited edition cover for Cosplay America V2. I don't have any hand. This is my hand sign V2.
Gang signs from
V sign. So how does it feel that you're on the cover of a book that's in limited edition?
It's actually pretty cool. I mean, I've been following you for years, so to actually be able to be on a publication is actually very cool. I've been doing cosplay for 15 years now I think about it. So, and I always do it for fun. I've never wanted to be famous. I've never actually wanted to get my photo taken. That's why I always do mascot costumes.
Yeah.
You never know who I am. I could be anyone. That's the point. And to actually, for actual recognition, the fact that I'm actually part of a product, something this great, in my opinion, it's an honor. It's very cool.
What is the furthest you travel with large costumes to a convention?
Would you consider Conti large?
Yeah, he was kind of big.
You took it to Dragon Con.
Yeah, we drove from Dallas to Dragon Con. It was like a road trip, and then we took Conti from FLCL. He was somewhat large. He's basically a giant TV head and armor bits.
Yeah.
So that's probably the largest. And how many miles is that? I have no idea.
It's a long way.
That was a
1,700
while.
miles, yeah.
That's kind of crazy. You think about
I
it.
know some of my friends who actually rented U-Haul trailers and driven to AX for their giant Evangelion costumes and stuff. It's just like,
That's why I was like, UPS, man. We should, or well, like if you could get transported, because I mean, we transported Alphonse everywhere and he never got lost.
if we could get a giant shipping container and just stick it all in there and ship it over, that's the only thing I can think of. But like I said, I had to engineer a way to take it apart.
And then put it back together. 50 years. So when did you start?
1999 on the dot. My first costume was a Gundam Desaithal custom. I made it out of cardboard and plaster. It died on the first day, but I made it, wore it for like a few hours, and that started the obsession.
What convention was this at?
AX, that was the year, it was at Disneyland actually.
Oh, awesome. So since you've been cosplaying for such a while now, how is cosplay different from 2015?
It's become a lot more both competitive and easier because cosplayers nowadays have so many more tools that they did not have before. Tutorials online, materials that they didn't have access to.
Colored wigs.
Yeah.
I didn't have to go buy, if I wanted to do Ruri now from Nadesco, I wouldn't have to go buy a gray granny wig and gray glue.
Yeah. Or be able to just go get Warbler, or go to get Tap Plastics, or like Reynolds Advanced Materials, get like mixed epoxy resins. You couldn't do that back then.
I love that people are just like, oh, you don't wear the contacts. And I'm like, we didn't even have, I feel like an old grandma. 'Cause I'm like, nobody even cared about the color of your eyes. You were just like, I'm close.
Wow, were you cosplaying at the same time period too?
Yeah, probably my first convention was, I want to say it was Katsucon, like 3 or 4.
Wow.
Virginia Beach.
Wow.
He posted pictures of it a while back, and I'm like, I remember those Devil Hunter Yokos. There was Saint Seiya cosplay. That was my first one. I drove from Dallas to Virginia Beach to go to my first anime convention. Well, not Dallas, Lubbock.
Whoa, that's crazy.
The atmosphere has changed.
Yeah, and it was like, I remember some friends of mine, they were like, yeah, there's these conventions starting up in Chicago. Do you want to go to it? And I'm like, okay. He's like, you stay at my house because they lived at the very bottom of Illinois. Let's go. It was the very first A-Fest. Not A-Fest,
ASEN.
I need coffee and I'm really big.
Wow, so is there anything you miss from the old days of cosplay from the new days?
It felt like you could connect with people a little easier because it was a much smaller community. You made friends. I don't know. It was easier to go to like one central location to like all be on the same mailing list. Everybody knew what group was going on.
And it also was a lot more centralized back then. There are only like a handful of cons, so you would plan for that con. Nowadays, they're all over, and they happen so frequently, it's hard to say, which one do you want to go to? Like, for instance, this weekend, I have friends going, are you going to Dragon Con? No, I'm going to be at Anime Fest. There's no way we can...
No, I'm going to be at A-Fest.
So it's all like, there's no longer one con that everyone goes to that you're like, oh, we're all going to be there.
Some of my friends think it's hilarious. There really used to be an East Coast, West Coast cosplay rivalry. They're like rappers, and I'm like...
What? Wait, there actually used to be an East Coast, West Coast? What?
Yeah, because a lot of people would only go to like Katsucon, Otakon. They'd only go to the East Coast cons. They'd never go all the way over to Coast and go to Fanime, AX, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was just like you had your East Coast cosplayers and your West Coast cosplayers.
That's kind of crazy you think about it. That's
I know.
kind of, you know.
Like I said, the industry's changed. Now it's become so widespread. It's pretty much spring break all the time.
I
You just
know.
decide to go, dress up, have fun.
Yeah.
So if you went back and you told your 15-year-old younger self that this is going to happen, do you think your younger self would believe you?
Every year I tell myself I'm not doing this anymore, and then every year I do it again. So if I told myself
full of foam.
foam and glue, if I told myself back then you would be doing this 15 years from now, I'm like, no, I will grow out of it. And then like, no, obviously it didn't. Every year I get better, I get more money, I get more skills, I get more talent, and then I just go, I'm gonna go crazy this year. Do something completely
I'm gonna make an Escaflowne in a month.
Yeah, just for shits and giggles. Why not?
Why not? That's awesome.